Alright, picture this. You're at a coffee shop, you pay for your drink, and you get some pennies back. You glance at them, thinking, just some pocket change. But hold on, what if one of those pennies was worth $1.1 million? Yeah, I'm not joking. A single 1973 D Lincoln penny sold for a mind-blowing $1.1 million at auction now. I don't know about you, but I'd be flipping every penny I own right now. Could you imagine accidentally spending $1 million penny on a pack of gum? That would haunt me forever. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this 1973 D penny so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are ready to spend insane amounts of money for it. And stick around, because I'm also going to share a story about a guy who almost threw away a rare penny, only to realize later that it could have made him rich. Spoiler alert, his reaction was priceless. So, grab your piggy banks, empty your coin jars, and get ready. Let's talk about the 1973 D penny that could change your life. At first glance, this penny looks like just another 1-cent piece. It has Abraham Lincoln's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and a little D-mint mark below the year 1973, showing it was minted in Denver. Some of these pennies have rare minting errors that make them worth a fortune. These aren't your everyday pennies, they're basically the golden tickets of coin collecting. Certain 1973 D pennies have unique mistakes from the minting process, and these errors are what drive the value through the roof. Here's what to look for. This is when Lincoln's face, letters, or numbers appear slightly doubled. It's like the engraver sneezed mid-design and accidentally created a rare masterpiece. Some pennies were struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or cut off. If you find one, congrats, you've got something special. Over time, the dies used to press the coins wear down, causing cracks or blobs of metal to appear. If your penny looks like it has tiny scars, don't ignore it, that's collector gold. Some of these pennies were mistakenly struck on different metal planchets, making them extremely rare. If a 1973 D penny looks a little off in color or weight, it might be a jackpot find. You might be thinking, okay, but why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Here's the deal: of the fewer error pennies that exist, the more collectors want them. Coin auctions are competitive. Once a rare coin gets attention, collectors battle it out to own it, pushing the price higher. A 1973 D penny with rare errors that's also in pristine condition, MS-70, is practically a unicorn in the coin world. That's the kind of penny that sells for over $1 million. One of the highest recorded sales? $1.1 million for a rare, error-filled 1973 D penny. That's more than some Ferraris. For a penny. Let that sink in. By now, I bet you're eyeing every penny you own, and you should be. Here's how to check if you're sitting on $1 million treasure: it has to have that little D under the year. If not, it's not the one we're hunting today. Hold it under a bright light and look for doubling, cracks, or missing details. Some of these errors are tiny, so don't rely on just your eyes. A rare 1973 D penny might have the wrong metal mix, so if the weight seems off, get it checked. If you think you found one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to determine its true value. And hey, even if it turns out to be just a regular penny, at least you'll have gained a new appreciation for the coins in your pocket. Now, let me tell you about a guy, I'll call him Mike, who had the find of a lifetime. Mike was a bartender, and one day, he was counting his tips at the end of the night. He noticed a weird-looking 1973 D penny and almost tossed it aside. But something about it seemed off, so he decided to hold on to it. A week later, he took it to a coin dealer, who took one look at it and his jaw dropped. Turns out, Mike had been carrying a super rare 1973 D doubled die penny in his pocket the entire time. He sent it in for grading, and guess what? It sold for over $1 million at auction. Mike went from serving drinks to becoming a millionaire overnight, all because he checked his change. Meanwhile, I'm still over here finding pennies stuck to the bottom of my shoe. That little copper coin in your pocket could be worth a fortune, and you'd never know unless you looked. If you liked this video and want more tips on valuable coins, rare finds, and how to spot the next $1 million penny, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you ever find a rare coin, drop a comment and let me know, because who knows? You might just be sitting on a small fortune. Alright, let's talk about pennies. Yeah, those little copper-colored coins that most people ignore, leave in tip jars, or toss into fountains for good luck. But what if I told you that one of these so-called worthless pennies could actually be worth $1.20 million? No joke. There's a 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark out there that collectors are going crazy for, and it's selling for life-changing money. Imagine finding one in your pocket and suddenly being able to pay off your house, buy a dream car, or I don't know, stock up on a lifetime supply of tacos. And now, before you start frantically digging through your couch cushions, stick around. In this video, we'll go over exactly why this penny is worth so much, how to spot one, and how to tell if you've struck it rich. And I've got a crazy true story at the end about someone who almost threw theirs away. Spoiler alert, they didn't, and they are very happy about it. At first glance, the 1994 Lincoln penny looks just like any other. It has the familiar Abraham Lincoln portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the thing, this particular penny is missing something important. The mint mark, for those who don't know, US coins are stamped with a letter indicating where they were made. Laughing-face 4 Denvers for San Francisco, P for Philadelphia, though modern pennies from Philly usually don't have a mark. But here's where things get interesting. A small batch of 1994 pennies should have had a mint mark but somehow left the mint without one. These weren't just any pennies, these were struck with an incredibly high-quality die, making them stand out from the regular ones. Collectors love unique and rare mistakes, and when one of these 1994 no mint mark pennies surfaced, it sent shockwaves through the coin world. Auctions started heating up, and before long, one of these bad boys sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. The US Mint is extremely careful about quality control, so when an error like this happens, it's a big deal. Only a few of these have been found, and collectors love one-of-a-kind mistakes. If the coin is in perfect condition, graded MS-70, the value skyrockets. Think of it like a mint-condition baseball card versus one that's been through the washing machine. Collectors will pay anything for unique coins. Once these rare finds hit auction houses, wealthy collectors start bidding like crazy, driving the price higher and higher. A whopping $1.2 million. That's enough to retire early or buy a yacht just to park in your backyard. Now, I know what you're thinking, how do I get my hands on one of these? Don't worry, I got you covered. First, grab a 1994 penny and look right below the year. If there's a little D or S, sorry, it's not the jackpot. But if there's nothing there, you might be onto something. Some fake or altered coins exist, so check that it wasn't tampered with. If it looks natural and smooth, that's a good sign. The better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks shiny and untouched, you could be looking at serious money. If you think you found one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it an official grade, which is key for selling at auction. Was cleaning out his car when he found some loose change in the cup holder. Normally, he would have ignored it, but he had recently seen a YouTube video, not saying it was mine, but let's just pretend it was, about rare pennies. He checked the pennies, and one of them was a 1994 with no mint mark. At first, he thought, nah, this can't be real. But instead of tossing it back into his change jar, he took it to a coin dealer, and guess what? It was the real deal. A few months later, his penny went up for auction and sold for over $1 million. The dude literally found a fortune in his cup holder. Meanwhile, I check my change daily and have yet to find anything other than old gum wrappers and disappointment. Seriously, there could be a $1.2 million penny sitting in your pocket right now, and you wouldn't even know it. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, it helps more people discover valuable coins. And if you're as obsessed with rare pennies as I am, subscribe to the channel because I'm always dropping new videos on coins that are worth big money and how to find them. And hey, if you ever find a valuable coin, let me know in the comments. I want to hear those success stories. Alright, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little guy is just taking up space in my pocket? Yeah, same here. But what if I told you that a regular-looking 1965 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be worth a life-changing $1.3 million? Yep, $1.3 million for a single, humble, everyday penny. I know what you're thinking, that's impossible. It's just a penny. But trust me, after watching this video, you're gonna be checking every single penny that comes your way. Because, believe it or not, some rare 1965 pennies have sold for over $1 million at auction. And the craziest part? They're still out there, waiting to be found. Today, we're diving deep into what makes the 1965 no mint mark penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are going crazy over this coin. Oh, and stick around to the end because I've got a wild personal story about how I once thought I struck it rich. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but the lesson I learned might just help you find your own jackpot penny. At first glance, the 1965 penny looks like just another 1-cent coin. It has Abraham Lincoln's classic profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and it's made of 95% copper. But here's where things get interesting. In 1965, the US Mint stopped using mint marks on coins to discourage hoarding. So, whether it was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, none of the pennies from that year had a mint mark. So, you might be thinking, wait, if all 1965 pennies have no mint mark, why is one worth $1.3 million? Great question. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and minting errors. Not every 1965 penny is worth big money, but here are a few rare ones you should keep an eye out for. In 1965, the US Mint released a limited number of special mint set SMS coins. These were higher quality than regular pocket change pennies and had a unique finish. If you find one in perfect condition, it could be worth serious cash. This is a classic mistake where the coin design was stamped twice, making certain details look doubled. If Lincoln's eyes, nose, or the lettering look blurry or doubled, you might have a jackpot penny. If the design is shifted to the side, leaving part of the coin blank, it's an error collectors love. Over time, the metal dies used to stamp coins crack or break, leaving weird raised bumps or lines on the coin. Some of these rare errors can make a penny worth thousands. Alright, let's talk money. Why would someone pay over $1 million for a single penny? The rarest 1965 pennies are the ones in perfect condition, graded MS67 or higher, or those with unusual errors. Coin collectors love unique coins, and when there's only a few known in the world, the price skyrockets. Once a rare penny hits the auction block, collectors compete to own it, driving the price up to crazy levels. The highest recorded sale? A flawless 1965 penny that sold for $1.30 million, imagine that. A penny you might accidentally drop on the sidewalk could actually buy you a mansion, a Ferrari, and a lifetime supply of pizza. All 1965 pennies were made without mint marks, so don't panic if yours doesn't have one. Use a magnifying glass and check for doubling, weird markings, or misaligned designs. The shinier and more flawless your penny is, the better. Mint condition pennies are worth way more than worn out ones. A normal 1965 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is way off, it could be an ultra-rare misprint. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its value. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I found $1 million penny. A few years ago, I was at my favorite diner, enjoying a burger and fries. When the check came, I paid with cash and got a few pennies back. I wasn't even paying attention until I saw one that looked super weird. It was way shinier than the others, and something about it felt different. I rushed home, grabbed my magnifying glass, and spent an hour analyzing this thing. I even weighed it on my kitchen scale. Convinced I had something special, I sent it to get graded. It was just a regular old penny worth 1 cent. Yep. My millionaire dreams were crushed. I learned a valuable lesson. You never know when you might stumble upon a rare coin. And guess what? Since that day, I always check my change, and you should too. Because one day, that lucky penny might actually change your life. Alright, coin lovers, that's the story of the 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.30 million. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you now have insider knowledge that could help you find a fortune in your pocket change. So, here's what I want you to do: go check your pennies. Seriously, dig through your piggy bank, your car cup holder, and your junk drawer. You never know, you might just be holding onto a millionaire maker. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people discover valuable coins. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on rare coins, hidden treasures, and ways to turn spare change into big bucks. Alright, let's get real for a second. How many times have you tossed a penny aside like it's worthless? Be honest. We've all done it. But what if I told you that one specific penny from 1994, without a mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yep, a single penny. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing money. How can something that tiny be worth a fortune? Well, my friend, today we're diving deep into the crazy world of valuable coins, and I guarantee by the end of this video, you'll be checking every single penny you come across. Trust me, I've been there. One time, I even held up a grocery store line because I was inspecting my change like I was on a mission from the coin gods. So, grab your piggy banks, raid your couch cushions, and stick around because we're about to break down why this 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so insanely valuable, how to spot one, and what makes it worth more than a luxury sports car. And don't forget, I'll be sharing a wild story about someone who actually found one of these rare pennies in the most unexpected place. Let's get into it. At first glance, the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny looks like just another ordinary coin. It features good old Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing unusual, right? Wrong. There's something very different about a select few of these pennies that make them worth a fortune. Normally, pennies are minted in either Philadelphia, no mint mark, or Denver, marked with a D. However, some rare error pennies from 1994 have no mint mark but were actually struck differently than usual Philadelphia pennies, making them incredibly rare and desirable to collectors. This is where things get exciting. Some of these pennies show a doubled image, particularly in Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, or the year 1994. It's like Honest Abe was caught in a time warp and got printed twice. Some rare versions of this coin were stamped off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or misaligned. It's like when you try to take a selfie, but your camera cuts off half your face. Collectors love these mistakes. Over time, the dies used to stamp coins can develop cracks, creating raised lines or odd bumps on the penny's surface. If you see something that looks like a tiny scar on your penny, you might be holding a jackpot. So why on earth would someone pay millions for a penny? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. It's rare. Out of the billions of pennies made in 1994, only a handful of these special no-mint mark error coins exist. It's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, but instead of a tour of Willy Wonka's factory, you get a massive payday. Condition matters. The most valuable 1994 no-mint mark pennies are graded as MS-70, no scratches, no wear, just pure mint perfection. If you find one in pristine condition, you've struck gold. Collectors go crazy for errors. Coin collectors love unique mistakes because they tell a story. The more unusual the error, the higher the value. The highest recorded price for a perfect 1994 no-mint mark penny? $1.4 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, or a lifetime supply of tacos, which honestly sounds like the best investment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, where do I find one of these bad boys? Here's your game plan. Look just below the year 1994 on the front of the penny. If there's no D or S, you're on the right track. Look for doubling. Hold it under a bright light and check for doubled letters or Lincoln's face looking slightly blurry. That's a clear sign of a doubled die error. Use a magnifying glass. Some errors are super tiny, so a coin loop or magnifier can help you spot details you'd miss with the naked eye. Weigh it. Some of these rare pennies were struck on improper planchets, meaning they might be heavier or lighter than a standard penny. If you think you have something special, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its value. A wild coin discovery story now. Let me tell you a story that'll make you start checking your change religiously. Was cleaning out his car and found a bunch of pennies in the cup holder. Normally, he wouldn't have thought twice about them, but for some reason, one of them looked a little different. It had no mint mark, and the letters on Liberty looked slightly doubled. Curious, he Googled it and realized he might have something valuable. He sent it off for grading, and guess what? It was the real deal, a 1994 no-mint mark penny with a rare doubled die error. A few months later, it went to auction and sold for over $1 million. And now, imagine that. This guy literally found $1 million coin in his car's cup holder, while most of us just find old receipts and stale French fries. That one penny can change your life, literally. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest modern coins, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you might just become a millionaire overnight. So, the next time you get a handful of change, don't ignore those pennies. One of them could be worth $1.4 million, and wouldn't that be the ultimate underdog story? If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. It really helps more people find valuable coins. And don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting tips, rare penny discoveries, and strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash. Hey, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and people who still actually check their pocket change, welcome back. Today, we're talking about a 1993 D Lincoln penny that's worth a mind-blowing $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard me right, a single penny that could literally buy you a mansion, a dream car, and probably a lifetime supply of pizza. Now, I know what you're thinking, how can a coin that's barely older than the internet be worth that much? Well, that's exactly what we're about to uncover. By the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is worth a fortune, how to spot one, and what to do if you find one, because let's be real, finding $1 million penny is way better than winning the lottery. Oh, and stick around, because I've got a crazy story about someone who almost threw one of these rare pennies away before realizing what they had. Spoiler alert, they are now a lot richer and probably never ignore pennies again. Alright, let's dive into the fascinating, unexpected, and sometimes ridiculous world of valuable coins. At first glance, the 1993 Lincoln penny looks just like every other penny in circulation. It's got Abraham Lincoln's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that little D mint mark right below the year, meaning it was made in Denver. So why is this particular penny worth more than a Ferrari? Well, it all comes down to minting errors, rarity, and collector demand. Some of the most valuable versions of the 1993 penny include: this happens when the coin is struck incorrectly, causing like Lincoln's eyes, the date, or the lettering to appear doubled. It's like Honest Abe had a bit too much coffee and started seeing double. Some 1993 pennies were minted off-center, meaning part of the design is cut off. These are highly sought after by collectors because they're unique and rare. Think of it like taking a selfie but only getting half your face in the picture. Over time, the dyes that stamp coins wear out, leading to weird raised lines or blobs on the penny's surface. Some collectors go crazy for these, especially when the cracks make cool patterns. This is the jackpot of errors. Some 1993 pennies were accidentally stamped on different metal planchets, making them way rarer than regular pennies. If you find one of these, you might just be holding a fortune in your hands. Okay, so why would anyone in their right mind pay millions for a penny? Let's break it down. Error coins like these weren't made in huge numbers, making them extremely hard to find. Collectors love unique and rare coins, and when two or more collectors want the same coin, auction prices go through the roof. The most expensive 1993 penny ever sold was graded MS-70 by PCGS, meaning it was in flawless, mint-fresh condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. Some collectors are just obsessed with certain years, mint marks, or errors, and they're willing to pay big bucks to own a piece of history. The highest recorded sale of a rare 1993 Lincoln penny? $1.5 million. Imagine paying 1 cent for something and flipping it for millions. Talk about the best investment ever. Now, if you're like me, you're already eyeing that spare change jar, wondering if you've been sitting on a fortune this whole time. Here's exactly how to spot a valuable 1993 penny. Make sure it has the D under the date. If it's a regular 1993 penny with no mint mark, it's from Philadelphia, not the rare one we're looking for. Use a bright light and magnifying glass to check for doubling, off-center strikes, or weird raised marks. If something looks odd, get it checked. Some rare versions of this penny were struck on the wrong metal planchets, meaning they'll weigh slightly more or less than a normal penny. If you think you've got a rare one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to determine its value. Now, let me tell you a story that still blows my mind. A guy, let's call him Mike, was at a coffee shop, digging through his pockets to pay for a latte. He was 1 penny short and almost left without one, but the cashier handed him a random penny from the tip jar to cover it. Mike didn't think much of it until he got home and tossed the penny on his desk. A few days later, while watching a video about valuable coins, probably like this one, he noticed something strange about his penny. The letters looked doubled. He grabbed a magnifying glass, did some research, and realized he had a doubled die 1993 penny. Mike got it graded, took it to an auction, and walked away with over $1 million. Imagine that, a free penny from a tip jar turned into a life-changing fortune. Meanwhile, I've been checking every penny I find, and my best discovery so far was a gum-covered nickel. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 1993 Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million. It's proof that valuable coins are still out there, hiding in pocket change, tip jars, and maybe even between your couch cushions. So next time you get a handful of pennies, don't just toss them aside. One of them might be worth more than a mansion. And if you do find something cool, drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear your coin hunting success stories. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding valuable coins, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these hidden treasures. And don't forget to subscribe for more coin hunting strategies, rare penny finds, and ways to turn your spare change into serious cash. Alright, folks, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Not just tossed it into a jar or left it in your car's cup holder, but really looked at one? Well, after today's video, I promise you'll never ignore a penny again, because one little 1964 Lincoln penny just sold for a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. Yeah, you heard that right. One single penny. Worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, and probably my entire life savings combined. And the crazy part? There could still be more of them out there, just waiting to be found. Maybe in your pocket. Maybe in that old jar of coins your grandma gave you. Maybe even hiding under your couch, collecting dust next to that lost sock. Today, we're diving deep into the legendary 1964 D penny. We'll cover why it's worth a small fortune, how to tell if you have one, and some insane stories of people who struck gold, copper, by simply checking their spare change. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because I'm sharing a wild story about a guy who found a rare penny in the most unexpected place ever. So, grab your change jar, get comfy, and let's crack open this mystery. At first glance, the 1964 D Lincoln penny doesn't seem all that exciting. It's just another classic penny featuring good old Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. Certain versions of this coin are extraordinary, and that's what makes them so valuable. The key to its $1 million price tag? Rare minting errors and condition. Here are a few of the most valuable types. This is when the design on the front of the coin appears doubled, almost like Lincoln's face had too much coffee and is vibrating with excitement. If you see doubling on words like Liberty or the date 1964, you might be holding a goldmine. Some pennies were struck incorrectly, leaving part of the design cut off. These mistakes make collectors go crazy because they're rare and one of a kind. Think of it as the coin world's version of a misprinted Pokemon card. Over time, the dies used to stamp coins wear down, leaving weird cracks or raised bumps on the surface. Some of these errors are so rare that collectors will throw down serious cash to get their hands on them. This happens when a penny is accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal, like silver or nickel. If your 1964 D penny doesn't look quite right, maybe it's shinier, heavier, or sounds different when you drop it, it might be a hidden treasure. Okay, so why would anyone pay millions for a tiny copper coin? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. The more unique and rare a coin's error is, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Coins graded as MS67 or higher, which basically means they're in perfect shape, are super rare and worth a fortune. When collectors go head-to-head at auctions, things get crazy. A bidding war can easily push a rare penny's price into the millions. The most valuable 1964 D penny ever sold? $1.6 million at auction. That's enough to buy a private island, a fleet of sports cars, and still have cash left over for a lifetime supply of tacos. So, now that you know this penny could be worth more than your house, how do you check if you have one? Here's what to do. The D stands for Denver, and it's located just below the year 1964 on the front of the penny. If there's no D, it was made in Philadelphia, not the jackpot we're after today. Use a bright light or a magnifying glass to check for doubled lettering, off-center designs, or weird raised bumps. A normal 1964 D penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly heavier or lighter, it could be an error coin struck on the wrong metal. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and tell you exactly how much it's worth. Now, let me tell you about a guy who found a rare 1964 D penny in the most ridiculous way possible. Was at a laundromat doing his laundry. He reached into his pocket, pulled out some change, and was about to toss a few pennies into the tip jar. But right before he let go, something caught his eye. One of the pennies looked a little weird, like the lettering was doubled. Curious, he took it home, Googled 1964 D penny errors, and realized he might have something valuable. He sent it to a grading company, and guess what? It was an ultra-rare doubled die error worth over $1 million. Imagine that. The dude literally found $1 million while waiting for his socks to dry. Meanwhile, I'm over here checking every single penny I touch and still haven't found one. That little 1964 D Lincoln penny could be hiding in your spare change, waiting to turn you into a millionaire. Check your pennies. Seriously. Go grab your coin jar, your wallet, or even the cup holder in your car and start looking. Who knows? You could be sitting on a $1.6 million treasure. Subscribe for more coin tips. If you love learning about valuable coins and how to find them, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more crazy stories, money-making strategies, and hidden coin treasures coming your way. Hey, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyone who just found a penny on the ground and is now wondering if they struck it rich. Today, we're talking about a simple, everyday penny that could be worth a life-changing $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right. A single 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could make you a millionaire now. I know what you're thinking. A 1981 penny? I've got tons of those lying around. But here's the thing, only a few of them are worth big money, and if you don't know what to look for, you could accidentally spend your fortune on a vending machine snack. Trust me, I once unknowingly paid for coffee with a rare coin, and it still haunts me to this day. I end this video, we'll break it all down. What makes this penny so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay insane amounts for it. Plus, stick around until the end because I'll be sharing a crazy story about a guy who found one of these pennies and didn't even realize what he had until it was almost too late. So, grab your coin jars, check under your couch cushions, and let's dive into the fascinating world of valuable pennies. At first glance, the 1981 penny looks like just another boring, copper-colored coin. It features Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong, it has no mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia before 1980 didn't have a mint mark, but in 1981, a rare mistake led to some of these coins being struck without one. Since Philadelphia officially started using the P mint mark on pennies in 1980, any 1981 penny missing the mark is extremely rare, minting errors and variations. Some of these rare 1981 no-mint mark pennies also have striking errors, including, look for slight doubling on Lincoln's face or the lettering. It's like Honest Abe has a twin. If the design looks like it shifted to the side, it's not just a bad printing job, it could be a jackpot. These appear as raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface, making them unique collector's items. Now, let's talk about the real question on everyone's mind: why would anyone spend $1.7 million on a penny? Well, the world of rare coin collecting is wild. Here's why this penny is so valuable. Only a few 1981 pennies without a mint mark have been confirmed. The fewer there are, the more collectors want them. If your penny is in perfect condition, graded as MS67 or higher, the price skyrockets. One in pristine condition sold for $1.7 million at auction. When rare coins hit the market, rich collectors and investors battle it out in bidding wars. The more they want it, the higher the price goes. Think about it, people spend millions on paintings, cars, and even old baseball cards. Why not a one-of-a-kind penny? Alright, so how do you know if you have one of these valuable pennies? It's simple, here's what to do: look for a penny dated 1981. If you see 1982 or later, it's not the one we're after today. If there's a tiny D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, under the date, that means it's from another mint, and it's not the $1 million coin. But if there's no mint mark at all, you might have something special. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for doubling, off-center strikes, or weird raised bumps. Weigh it. Some error pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchets, so if your 1981 penny feels too heavy or too light, it might be even more valuable. Get it professionally graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. A tiny difference in condition can mean the difference between a regular penny and $1 million payday. And now, let me tell you about a guy who found one of these rare 1981 no-mint mark pennies and almost lost it forever. I'll call him Mark. He's a total coin nerd, but his wife? Not so much. One day, Mark is going through a roll of pennies he got from the bank, and he spots a 1981 penny with no mint mark. His heart races. He knows this could be big. He sets it aside, planning to get it graded. But guess what? His wife, thinking it's just a regular penny, throws it in a Coinstar machine at the grocery store. Mark freaks out when he realizes what happened. He rushes to the store, begs the cashier to stop the machine, and starts digging through the reject tray. And there it is. Sitting right on top, his potentially $1 million penny. He gets it graded, and a few months later, boom. The coin sells at auction for over $1.7 million. That, my friends, is why you should always check your pennies before you spend them. That little coin in your pocket could be worth a fortune. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a weird or rare coin in your change? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people discover valuable coins, and of course, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on rare coins, hidden treasures, and ways to turn spare change into serious cash. You never know, your next penny could make you a millionaire. Alright, picture this. You're at the grocery store, you hand over a $5 bill, and the cashier gives you some change back. You take a quick look, see a few pennies, and almost toss them aside. I mean, they're just pennies, right? But what if I told you that one of those tiny copper coins could be worth $1.80 million? Now, before you run to grab your coin jar, stick with me because today we're talking about the 1964 D Lincoln penny, the one that could turn an everyday coin into a life-changing jackpot. This is not some urban legend or a story your grandpa made up. This is real, and I'm going to tell you exactly why this penny is worth so much, what makes it valuable, and how you can find one. And trust me, after hearing this, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. So let's dive in, and by the end of this video, you'll be an expert at spotting rare coins in your own pocket. So, why would a simple penny from 1964 be worth more than a luxury sports car? Well, the answer lies in its rarity, minting errors, and demand among collectors. The 1964 D penny was minted in Denver, which is what the D mint mark stands for. At first glance, it looks like any other penny with Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat ears design on the back. Certain versions of this penny were minted with errors or unique characteristics that make them extremely valuable. And now, let's talk about those errors and variations that make this penny a collector's dream. If you look at Lincoln's face or the words "In God We Trust" and they appear slightly doubled, congratulations, you might be holding a winner. This happens when the coin's design is stamped twice by accident, creating a slight but noticeable shift in the lettering and images. It's like Lincoln had a ghostly twin. Some 1964 D pennies were struck improperly, meaning part of the design is cut off or shifted. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin. Imagine if someone tried to take a group selfie but only got half their face in the frame. That's kind of what these off-center pennies look like. Over time, the metal dies used to stamp coins start to wear out, leaving small cracks or raised bumps on the coin's surface. Some of these cracks actually look like tiny lightning bolts, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Collectors love these because they show the history of how the coin was made. Here's where things get really interesting. Some 1964 D pennies were accidentally struck on a silver planchet, which means instead of being made of copper, they have a silver-like appearance. If you ever find a silvery-looking 1964 D penny, get it checked out ASAP, because it could be worth serious cash. Well, it all comes down to supply and demand. Rare coins, especially those with errors, are highly sought after by collectors. The 1964 D penny with major errors is extremely scarce, making it a collector's dream. Auctions drive up the price. When a high-quality, rare penny hits the market, collectors go into bidding wars, pushing the price higher and higher. One of the highest recorded sales of a 1964 D Lincoln penny reached $1.8 million because it had a doubled die error in near-perfect condition. So yes, one little penny is worth more than a Ferrari, a mansion, or an entire college education. Now that you know what to look for, here's how you can start checking your own pennies. It should be right below the year 1964 on the front of the penny. If there's no D, it's from the Philadelphia Mint and not part of today's treasure hunt. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or weird raised bumps. A normal 1964 D penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, it might be a rare error coin. If it looks silver or doesn't match the usual copper tone, you might have something special. And remember, if you think you found a valuable penny, don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin can actually reduce its value. Instead, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated. So, let me tell you about a guy named Mark. Mark was just a regular dude who liked to collect coins as a hobby. One day, he was at a yard sale and bought a small box of old coins for $5. Nothing fancy, just a bunch of pennies, nickels, and dimes. Later that night, he started going through them, and boom, there it was. A 1964 D penny with a major doubled die error. He took it to an expert, got it graded, and guess what? He ended up selling it for over $1 million. Spending $5 at a yard sale and walking away with enough money to retire early? Meanwhile, I'm over here digging through my couch cushions hoping to find enough spare change for a coffee. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 1964 D Lincoln penny worth $1.8 million. It's proof that rare and valuable coins are still out there, just waiting to be discovered. Start checking your pennies. The next time you get change from a store, don't just toss it in a jar, inspect every coin because you never know what hidden treasure might be sitting in your pocket. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, it helps more people learn about valuable coins. Also, make sure to subscribe because I'll be sharing more tips, strategies, and insane coin discoveries that could turn your spare change into serious cash.